This week in the psychology of education, interest and curiosity. Last week we talked about extrinsic rewards and behavioral modification. This week we're focusing on intrinsic rewards. So let's imagine you're back in your high school government class. For homework, the teachers assigned you to write a paper comparing U.S. democratic system to some other governmental system in a nation of your choosing. You pull out your materials and get ready to start, and you may find yourself having a number of questions related to potential rewards in doing this assignment. You may think to yourself, it would be really interesting to compare the US democracy to another democratic nation. I wonder how similar or different they are. Are there democratic countries in South America? Are there countries that are democratic I haven't thought of before? You may think to yourself, it's going to be easier to get a good grade on this comparison paper if I pick a non-democratic nation. Or you may think to yourself, and you may think all of these things to yourself, if I pick a topic no one else in the class considers, it could really show off my creativity. The first two of these are examples of intrinsic rewards that the student is considering. Things that we find interesting and valuable just with the information, the knowledge, the activity that is ongoing in this particular assignment or task. Doing the thing is valuable in and of itself. The last two are examples of extrinsic rewards. Getting a good grade on a paper. So the value, the reward is the good grade, and so doing the task in order to get that good grade. This fourth example of wanting to show off your creativity, now you may enjoy doing this, or you may enjoy being creative in this activity or this homework assignment, but doing it to demonstrate something else, to demonstrate competence, to demonstrate creativity, to show your teacher that you're a good student or to be a good student. That's not intrinsic rewards. Even though those are internal to yourself, I'm working hard on this because I'm a good student. That's still an extrinsic reward. You're doing the thing to get something else, to show something else, to be something else. It's not the reward. The activity isn't the reward in and of itself. With interest and curiosity, doing the thing, working on the homework, doing the math problems, asking a question in class, those in and of themselves are the reward. So let's dive in. Think about interest and curiosity as having multiple different defining features. As you'll see in the reading for this week, there are different types of interest and different types of curiosity, and we'll get to that momentarily. When I think about interest and curiosity, I typically think about three sort of interacting components. There is, on the one hand, this cognitive aspect to interest and curiosity. These are motivational states, rewards, but curiosity and interest are characterized by an attention towards an object of interest, or in the case of curiosity, towards a gap in your knowledge. So there's this sort of cognitive, attention, focused going on. There's also an emotional aspect. We usually think about curiosity and interest as being associated with enjoyment, liking, value. There may also be physiological arousal. What we mean by that is things like increased heart rate or changes in breathing, sort of representing a heightened awareness of what you're learning at the time, at the moment. This can even manifest in things like changes in the size of your pupils, in your eyes while you're learning. And then the third component are behavioral manifestations of interest and curiosity. If we think about what does someone who's interested or curious look like, they may be asking questions, they may be exploring the environment, exploring knowledge, exploring online. They're likely engaged, and particularly in the case of interest, demonstrating a preference. So if I say I am interested in math, I may be demonstrating that preference for taking additional math classes or majoring in math. That is sort of a behavioral manifestation. And each of these features interact with the others. So by asking questions, that's kind of demonstrating the cognitive feature of paying attention. And you may also, while you're asking the questions, experience some enjoyment or liking of what you're doing. Now, I often think about interest and curiosity as kind of fitting into two different categories. These are not necessarily discernible, but we'll kind of separate them momentarily. So we could have experiences of interest and curiosity in the moment, something that sparks or triggers interest and curiosity. And that's somewhat different than long-term interest or curiosity, where being interested in math or being a generally curious person is something about your own identity or personality. I'm going to put up a few terms to label these different types of interest and curiosity. When we talk about curiosity or interest in the moment, we usually use for interest the term situational interest. The interest arises as a result of the situation or the context. And with curiosity, the term is usually state curiosity, but you could think about it also as situational curiosity or state interest. These are just the terms that are typically used in the research literature, but as a prospective teacher or somebody interested in education, thinking about it as in the moment interest, in the moment curiosity, and is that being an option. Now with these long term, we can think about individual interest or trait curiosity. Individual interest is usually associated with a discipline or subject area. So political science, biology, chemistry, you may experience this as sort of a enduring liking, enjoyment of, preference for a particular topic or subject area. Curiosity, the long-term version of curiosity that we are maybe seeking to support in students is this personality trait of curiosity, someone who is a generally curious individual. And I think this kind of 2-by-2 model, or at least separating the in the moment with long term, is important for teachers because it suggests that teachers may have two different roles in terms of supporting students' interest and curiosity as motivations. The first is that teachers can spark curiosity in the moment. They can trigger interest in the moment during a lesson by designing a homework that's really interesting, creating a project, providing opportunities that trigger this experience, this feeling in this moment of a student being curious or interested. And also that in the long term, as teachers, as educators, as individuals interested in educational policy, we may think that a goal of education is not just to have students feel interested or curious at a one-off time, but to develop their long-term interest and curiosity.